I'm Eric, my hair's a mess, and this is the 30-day Marvel Comics Challenge. Day 5. It's day 5. My favorite team. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, I did mention my favorite team in the last video. That being said, I mentioned like 5 different teams. So, and instead of just coming right out with it, I'm going to try and rank my favorite teams. You know, the top 3. We'll go with top 3. Yeah. Top 3 teams, because I don't want to just like gush on about how much I like my favorite team. So I'm going to give you the 2 runners up. Okay. My third favorite team in the Marvel Universe is the Illuminati. Now, how can you go wrong when you have the smartest men from the Marvel Universe all on the same team, plus Captain America? I mean, and Captain America does really seem out of place, but the reason why Captain America was there is amazing, because the only reason that Tony Stark asked Captain America to be a member of the Illuminati was so he could keep them grounded. Because when you get the smartest men in the world all together in a group, their moral direction just kind of gets tossed out of the window for, in favor of scientific progress, or, he keeps them morally grounded. And a great example of this was actually right before, was the New Avengers issues leading up to the Infinity crossover event. Now, I liked Marvel Now. The relaunch was okay, mostly because they didn't completely destroy their old universe. DC. Yeah, so New Avengers picks Marvel Now picks right up right after Avengers vs. X-Men ends. That was their big final event of the old of their Marvel Now universe. So it picks up right after that. So the members of the Illuminati changed a little bit because, spoiler alert, Professor X dies. So they invite Hank McCoy to become a member to hold Professor X's Infinity Stone, which doesn't matter because the stones get destroyed anyway. I should probably talk about the members. We have Professor X, who's now dead, so Hank McCoy, Black Bolt of the Inhumans, which is why I mentioned Illuminati in yesterday's video. Got Namor, who again is at odds with like half of the group because of his actions in Avengers vs. X-Men, even though it wasn't really his fault. T'Challa, which is also a great addition because, again, the tension with Namor, it was an entire like story arc in the first couple issues of New Avengers. Tony Stark, Reed Richards, I think that's it. 5 Infinities. Hank McCoy, Black Bolt, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Namor. They're the holders of the Infinity Stones. T'Challa's there because they believe he belongs there, but he doesn't hold the Infinity Stone. And Cap's there because moral grounding. Okay, that's the members of the Illuminati until they're faced with a planet-destroying anomaly that, and they figure out that their only chance of stopping it is to destroy other planets in other dimensions that are going to collide with Earth and destroy Earth. So they make the decision that we're going to do this. The loss of their life is better than the loss of our life. And, of course, Cap, being the moral ground, is like, no, you're going too far. So, of course, instead of listening to their moral ground, they just kick him out of the team because he disagrees with them, which kind of destroys the entire purpose of having him there to begin with. Of course, they erase his mind. Oh, Doctor Strange! I forgot about Doctor Strange. How many Infinity Stones are there? 7. 6. That's bad. I should know this. this. I should really know this. Yeah, Doctor Strange is there too, because he holds a stone. Because that's how they race. Anyway, where was I? Right. Okay, that's my third favorite team. I need to stop talking about it because I'm already 5 minutes in and I'm, I only talk about one team. Second favorite team. The team that used to be my favorite team until something happened recently that my new number one favorite team had become my number one favorite team. X-Men. My second favorite team. And the main reason for this is, like I mentioned in previous videos about nostalgia, it's entirely to do with nostalgia. Again, child of the 90s, I grew up watching the X-Men animated series. I still hear that theme song in the back of my head sometimes. So, I mean, I don't know what that means, but it's a great, that being said, the show wasn't amazing. It was what it was, but it did it, in a way that it was amazing. Like, I think of a better way to explain that. Like, it doesn't hold up as well as I hoped it would. Especially when the story centers around Jubilee, and in the animated series, Jubilee was not the awesome character she is in the comics. Even in the comics, she still gets a bad rap, mostly because of her portrayal in the cartoon series. But, and the fact that they introduced a character in the first episode only for that character to die later on in the exact same episode. Though I think he's actually a character in the comics now. Yeah, he is. Morph. The character that the X-Men that no one's heard of. Going into episode 1, he's on the team with Wolverine, with Storm, with Cyclops, with Jean Grey. He's on the team. No one's ever heard of him. And then he dies, like, either that same episode or the next episode when the Sentinels attack. So, but I think he does exist now in the comics, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am. It's been a while since I read X-Men comics. I lost interest for a while. There's since the whole Schism event, which, note to Marvel, terrible name for an event. Just no. There was Schism. But I did like their Marvel Now, and Avengers vs. X-Men was amazing. Anyway, on to my favorite team. Now, like I said, up until about 3 weeks ago, X-Men. If I would have filmed this video 3 weeks ago, X-Men would have been my favorite team. They're not now. And that has to do with a movie that came out in August. Now, before everyone jumps on me about, oh, this is only your favorite team because you recently saw the movie, no. And by everyone, I mean the 5 of you that watch this. If I even get that many views, which I doubt. But, my favorite team is Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I was introduced to characters from Guardians back during the time of Marvel's Civil War. And the characters I was introduced to were Rocket Raccoon and Groot during another crossover event called the Annihilation War? Annihilator War? I don't know, they were a B story to the Annihilators limited series back then. So it was Rocket's search for Groot, and I was introduced to the characters, and I loved the characters, and I was like, this is amazing. So when I found out that, and then I lost touch with Marvel Comics for a long time, because I just couldn't get back into it after, a couple things happened. Anyway, so then when I was reading all this news about Marvel Now, the whole relaunch, namely the crap that was going on with the Spider-Man stories, which I still think was a freaking shark jump. But anyway, I saw the list of the new series that were coming out, and the one thing that was on that list that really stood out to me was this. So, when I saw this first image, I was like, that. Yes. Mostly, and the thing that really sold it for me was I saw Iron Man right there. And I was like, Iron Man's joining the Guardians, this is going to be amazing. Because at the time I was really into, this was like part of their second wave. And meaning that it came out like a few months later. And at the time I was already reading the Iron Man ongoing series. So I loved the new armor and everything, and I was like, this is great, Tony Stark's going into space, which even in his regular title he went into space, and everything that was happening on Earth was just a synthetic, an actual robot controlling the armor, not actually Tony. Well, it was Tony controlling the armor, but he was controlling it remotely from outer space. Anyway, that being said, the main things that sold me on that comic were Rocket Raccoon, Groot, and Iron Man. That's to say that, it's not that I don't like the other characters. I like Gamora, I like Drax. They were great. Star-Lord, though, I didn't really like Star-Lord originally because he seems so out of place. He's a human in space. No special abilities, just, skills that he's picked up and lived from living in space. Of course, and not only that, but he's also the exiled son of Jason Quill, who is, the Emperor of the Spartoi. And that's why Guardians was originally my second favorite team. Because Rocket and Groot and Iron Man, and by issue, was it 8, 12? The issue that came out a couple months after the end of Age of Ultron, Angela joined the team, which was just amazing, and yes, that was enough to hold the team together without me liking Peter Quill. Then I saw the movie, and my opinion completely changed, and I don't know if it was James Gunn's directing, or if it was Chris Pratt's acting, or just whoever wrote it. I should know this, but I don't. The writer, or just the writers. Chris Pratt killed it as Peter Quill, and his performance made me love the character. And same thing with I thought Bautista as Drax was a little bland, but thinking about the character, it was accurate. Zoe Saldana as Gamora was just amazing and full of yes. And freaking Groot was done perfectly. Just perfectly. And Bradley Cooper as Rocket was also just so good. So yeah. Stop shaking. Okay. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, my favorite team in the Marvel Universe. Would have been X-Men, but then that movie came out and it was amazing. And yes, just full of yes. So that's it for this video because I don't want it to go much longer. It's already at 14 minutes. Tomorrow's video is going to be day 6, which is my favorite organization. I don't even know what that means. So, favorite organizations, tomorrow's episode. I'll see you then.